So I think it's a losing battle to try to control that all the time. Last credibility shot. All them videos of her saying she loves to lie for no reason and she needs to make men obsessed with her. When she playing them back to back, everyone's like, oh, this bitch is crazy, and nobody can take her seriously.
Careful. Well, now they're gonna clip that and say that.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I'm like, who's an actual threat to you?
Bridges are gonna be burned, guys. Okay.
No, it doesn't matter. If you and I weren't close, what would be something that you would come at me very hard for in terms of rhetoric? I don't know if there's anything you feel like you'd strongly disagree on.
I don't know why he's saying this. Retarded. Well, hello. Welcome, friend of the stream, Abba.
Everything that we spoke about offline is offline, right?
You can talk about whatever. I don't give a
Wait, aren't you worried about being labeled a reaction channel afterwards, and then constantly being discredited because you're a reaction channel?
That is true. I don't think anything would be more embarrassing than being a channel where I sit on a couch and do reactions, because that would basically make it the TMZ of YouTube, right? I don't think she. You know what's embarrassing? I'm only gonna respond to anything she tweets now. Oh, Abba and Bleach. True.
There you go. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Jesus. I think it's an Indian dude that tweets for her.
Yeah.
I think she's given him like, here's like 25 NPC talking points of just like some variation of this and just like fire away like every 2 hours. I don't think, is she really on her phone tweeting like every 2 hours? Like the most obnoxious, obvious, baiting, low tier, red pill. It kind of sounds like what she normally says anyway, huh?
It does, but I just think somebody knows the same talking points, so it works well. I mean, people got editors for TikTok and everything else. I highly doubt people manage their own social medias. I know people manage their Instagram, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know what she's been writing.
It just every imaginable pick. I'm trying to not use pick me anymore, but like every.
Why is that bad? Ain't that what she is?
I'm in like a middle ground right now for things like pick me or like Uncle Tom or like any of these like token things. I don't know if I'm mixed on if they should ever be used or not. Because like technically when I say pick me, I'm saying that like your opinion is now disregarded because you're a woman. It's like the Uncle Tom for women. Like is there ever like an acceptable place to use it, do you think?
Is that what that means when you're saying that? Your opinion is invalid because you're...
Pick me is basically saying you're a woman that's trying to like win favor with men by shitting on other women.
Or the other way I would see it is that by shitting on other women, like you understanding your identity, you're utilizing that.
Yeah, but how do you know that, right? That's the thing. Because it could genuinely be her opinion. They could just be really dog shit opinions. It has nothing to do with being a pick me.
I think though, just the 180 of how she used to talk to how she talks now is I think what makes me think the whole it's a bit of a pick me grift.
It could be.
Yeah, like there's no way to 100% know because
Yeah.
you can't get in her brain to get her to admit it. But someone said f***ing watch it. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I have an argument with a girl, I'd be saying that shit.
Watch it.
Watch it. Watch it. And then I get her to role play with me. She's like, Abba, your abuse is sick. I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I've seen that video, that line to me just sounds like theater.
It's funny.
Steven, your abuse is sick.
Watch it.
I don't know people that talk like that.
They've been through therapy. Those are therapy words.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Fuck. Okay, so
Your
the
abuse is
autofocus
sick.
is off now, but how do I actually like change what it's...
The focus should be on the actual lens itself. You should be able like, can you just turn the knob on the lens?
It's not that kind of thing.
No, it doesn't have a manual lens like right here.
This is called a prime lens. It doesn't have a...
Oh, okay. Oh, so it does have a focus ring.
Oh my god.
I just told you that.
I don't know how to focus ring. That's fucking wild. Holy shit.
Every lens I've ever had has a focus ring. I was like, nah, not this one.
Not this one, bro.
It 100% has a focus.
Oh
Here. You see where my hand is?
Yeah, bro, I got it now.
Yeah, all right, we're good.
Hell yes!
Yeah, okay.
We're in business!
I was so confused when you said it didn't have a focus ring. I'm like, pretty much every lens does.
Yeah, well, you know what? So does your mom, so...
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Go for it.
We should get into UFC or MMA commentary. And we can be like, when you get like all bruised up, don't they call it like black and blue?
Are you gonna dye your hair blue again?
If we do a UFC MMA commentary, I will.
I don't think, have you even ever watched a fight?
I watch all of Jake Paul's fights. And I'm rooting for him exclusively, always.
Boxing fights. Nah, I don't watch MMA like that. I do appreciate it every now and then. I'll probably watch tonight's event, but that's about it. I didn't know it was F1 this weekend when I came through. You gonna go to the races?
No. F1?
Okay, so I'm gonna ask the question again. What is an IRL activity you'd want to do?
Well...
Other than like...
I like going to restaurants.
Fucking women.
I like hanging out with the ladies. I like getting hot chocolate.
Okay.
Rollerblading was fun. I like shooting.
Shooting, okay.
Yeah, I like off-roading.
Have you done any IRL stream shooting guns, or is that illegal?
You can do it on Kick, but you can't do it on
YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
Okay. What else?
Off-roading is fun. I've gone jet skiing a few times. That's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are those activities that you have to like really dredge up the energy to want to go do, or is it a lot of times like there's stuff like, oh, we could, but I'd rather just stay home and stream or just relax?
Okay, here's my issue. Okay,
go, hit it.
And I think that I've either been spoiled by the internet or I just have lost my edge in real life. Okay. I feel like every time I go out of this house to do anything, it's so time consuming.
Yeah, it is.
Like at home, it's like I need to order 3 things, boom, 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 boom. But like in real life, it's like I need to go to the bank. I got to block out like 2 hours for that.
Sure.
Because I got to go to the bank, which is fine. But then I got to like wait for a banker, sit in the thing, talk to some guy. He's got to call a dude. Like I went to the bank yesterday to wire some money, and it took literally 2.5 hours. So I feel like every time I got to do anything in real life, it just takes so much time.
What about stuff you enjoy? Does the time-consuming aspect of it really like drain you?
Well, if I'm not going to have lots of fun, if I'm spending like 3 hours setting the activity up and then leaving the activity, like 1 hour doing the activity, I'm like,
okay, well, that's fair. So let's take an activity you really enjoy. Give me an example. So like, we can take.
I like shooting. Shooting is a lot of fun.
Okay, so that one would be very time-consuming to set up.
It shouldn't be. Well, there's no ranges on Miami Beach, so the closest range is like 35-40 minutes away.
Well, driving or by Uber? Whatever.
Driving, yeah.
Okay. So the process of having to go there and then spend the time going back makes it not worth the time sometimes.
Maybe, yeah. I could probably do that, though. I just need to do that. Just haven't done that. Oh, my car's in the shop right now. That's another thing that's like taking time. So my car's in the shop. It took like a week, and then I went to pick my car up yesterday, and the guy's like, "Oh, do you have your lug nut key? Do you know what that is?"
No.
Do you have a car?
Is it just for the wheels?
Kind of. On a lot of, I think it might be on every newer car or on some performance cars. If you've got whatever wheels, they have like special lug nuts that you need a particular key to turn.
Sure. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not on my lug nut key. So now it's another 3 days for them to do my car.
Waiting for that.
Fuck everything.
Yeah.
It's just always a thing, you know?
Is there nothing? I guess maybe I just don't understand that mindset. For me, there's like certain activities that if I'm going to go out to do, even if it's 30 minutes to get there and 30 minutes to get back, I don't get bothered by the time because I know I'm going to be really emotionally rewarded by doing the activity itself.
I think my issue is I'm very like streamer brained.
Yeah.
Especially now.
What is that?
Now that I'm running all these contracts, now every time I'm like spending hours not streaming, I'm just watching the money like shitting down the toilet. And I'm like, I could be hitting my Rumble contract right now. I could be hitting my Kick contract right now. I could just be streaming on YouTube right now. There's like a million things I need to cover, a million things I need to watch, a million people I need to talk to, orbiters that I need to bring on my stream to let ruin the stream for 7 hours, and I'm not doing it. It makes it harder sometimes probably to plug into the real life stuff, to be more present for real life stuff. I think I'm just like running right now on a lot of like accumulated baggage, and I need to like take like 3 days to like wipe my...
Accumulated baggage being work or mental stuff?
I think everything. I think personal, mental, psychological.
Yeah.
That was a School of Rock reference, sorry.
Okay. I thought you were saying mental and psychological just to be funny.
No. Wait, have you ever seen School of Rock?
No, I don't know.
Fuck! Oh, it's one of the best movies of all time.
I don't be watching movies like that, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, fuck. I've just been doing a ton of shit lately.
All right. So...
and then even these guys, this guy will say some shit like this.
And then you're going to ban him?
Vacation. I think I've traveled and done like 20 real life podcasts that have probably been like career relevant over the past like 3 or 4 months. And there's a lot of traveling, and it's really good for me because I'm like everywhere right now, right? From Chris Williamson to Alex Jones, like everything is good. But then these retards, as soon as I get back, it's like, why does he never stream? Oh, he's on a vacation. Oh, he's not even doing anything. The thing that is killing me right now is that like half of these guys are joking, but the other half don't know it's a joke. And then these guys will keep memeing it so hard that in like 6 months, like 95% will think it's real, and only 5% will think it's a joke. And then it makes
you feel like you have a responsibility to like make them realize they're wrong?
Well, when a perception of me existed, I don't think it's true. It bothers the out of me.
Oh, apparently.
Yeah, it does. I don't care if people think I'm like like if your opinion of me is that I'm racist or something, whatever.
Yeah,
or like
I think that's the problem you have. I think like being that deeply invested in other people's perception. I understand it's important to some degree, but like when we had that conversation before, and you were telling me that like was it Darius and Irrelevant were having Lav on, that was bothering you, and you're like, you don't want to do anything because you don't want to be perceived one way or whatever. It's like, no, bro. Honestly, if somebody I work with often was rocking with somebody who accused me of rape, I wouldn't rock with that person ever again. That's me personally, though.
Yeah, I think
I don't care how other people perceive it. I don't want to be involved with that.
Yeah, August still has the Change My Mind event. I don't know why he hasn't posted it yet. Okay, but when you say Destiny, your Change My Mind events were a treasure trove of content. The first one I did actually was. I'm pretty sure my one debate with Straighter has over 1 million views. Yeah, the issue is that like I just have to be cognizant of people's perceptions of me, because like you kind of live and die in certain communities based on the perceptions of you, right? Like if I'm going into like red pill communities, like their perception of me is going to change literally how they perceive my message, or you know, in political communities, their perception of me is going to change like how effectively I can communicate to them, et cetera, you know, like, you know. So yeah. It's something I have to manage it. There was for a long time, probably for like 10 years, I kind of ran on that, like I don't give a about the perceptions of me kind of thing, because I was like always doing my own thing or whatever. But especially over the past like year and a half, as I've been like aggressively branching out into other communities, balancing that perception between everybody has been frustrating and challenging.
I don't think it's manageable, and I think as you get bigger and you start to touch more communities, that becomes more and more impossible.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're going to fracture yourself so hard, it's not going to be tenable. I just don't see how it is. You can't manage that perception, and also people have a vested interest in misrepresenting you or not being able to see your point in its entirety, because politically you're just not aligned with them, and so their tribal nature will want to turn. So I think it's a losing battle to try to control that all the time. I actually think you're better off amplifying the strengths of your message and then garnering as many people as that, rather than trying to get the naysayers to actually see the truth. Maybe other people disagree with that, but I think it's better for your mental, and I think it's also better for your growth.
Yeah, I agree on the mental part. I'm not sure on the growth part. There's a balance. There's going to be some balance to like balancing other people's perceptions versus not worrying as much about it. But yeah,
I don't know. Take Hassan for example. I don't think he does a great job of managing that perception at all.
Maybe. I think he's obsessed.
I think he is obsessed. Well, I don't think he does a good job. What I think he does well is he just leans into his crazy perspective, and I think it leans well into his political group, and so that's it. That's all he ever focuses on.
I think he manages his perception of him very well. Almost none of his personal stuff is online. He's very careful about almost all of that. He exclusively tries to network with larger creators, and then he's exclusively hitting on like popular progressive talking points. I think that his image is relatively narrow, and he does a really good job at just like hammering away at that.
One thing he doesn't do is he doesn't go and try to appeal to the red pill. One thing he doesn't do, or is try to manage his perception in right wing. He doesn't give a he says go f yourselves. I know who my crowd is, and I think it works well for his growth. So both for his probably mental to some degree in his growth is like, I don't give a f this community thinks. If they think I'm some kind of lefty cuck who lets like, you know, Valkyrie get pegged every week, then like whatever, it is what it is. He doesn't care what they think, and I think it's probably better for him to do that. Yeah,
I agree. But like if my goal, my branding is essentially like reaching out to other communities that are hostile towards me, then I think that like my goal is a little bit different, right? So I have to manage my brand a little bit differently.
Sure. Okay. What does that look like for you to reach out to these communities? What's your goal when you're doing this red pill content? Because you said it's really important. Why do you keep covering it?
Well, right now it's just because it's like in my feed and it's peripheral to me constantly, so I'm kind of bombarded with it. Right.
Okay.
A lot of the people in my community, a lot of things are showing up on Twitter, and then a lot of the intersections I have on YouTube, and a lot of my audience now has come from like red pill communities and stuff.
Okay.
Why do I cover it? Because some of it is just so wrong and stupid. I haven't found an effect. Yeah, I don't know. Fuck me.
You haven't found out what?
It's hard to counter it when I'm stepping into a community where the audience doesn't have any experience, and it sounds like the podcasters don't have the experience, and then I'm trying to give a perspective on it. Honestly, one of the most mindfucky things in the world is when Fresh told me, Destiny, I just don't think you understand the world of hooking up or whatever. Like, you just don't know what you're talking about. I wanted to kill myself when I heard him say that to me. I actually wanted to off myself. But then, like, the audience will buy it because they're all like I don't want to say incels like insulting me, but a lot of them are lacking experience. Why they're in these spaces, because they're trying to like figure out like, oh, well, how do I women or blah blah blah, right? Like, there's no like successful dude who's getting laid all the time who's like, I'm gonna go turn on Fresh and Fit tonight and watch them like kick out like 7 more girls that they're all calling old sluts because they're 26-year-olds with 2 bodies, right? Like, they're like normal people that are getting laid don't do that, you know. Yeah. Well, I don't even remember what
you were saying. You wanted to kill yourself because you were listening to Fresh.
Oh yeah, it's just balancing. The original question was what is my goal in trying to appeal to these communities, or how am I I'm not figuring out is challenging.
No, you were talking about how it was frustrating you going on these podcasts. You're talking to people who you feel like don't have the experience.
Yeah, like people will say some wild shit, and it's really hard to just like fact check them. I can't necessarily just pull out a study.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can appeal to my own experiences. I'm starting to believe less and less most of these experiences. I am starting to believe more and more that a lot of these red pill guys are doing escorts, are picking up people on like the sugar baby sites and shit, and that's where a lot of these pictures are coming from and everything. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the red pill stuff is tiring.
And it's always like it's like the same like redundant. 6 points every time. Yeah. Do you think body count matters more for men or for women?
Can men and women be friends?
Can men and women be friends?
I just refuse. I was like, I said that shit all the time. I'm like, I'm not covering that.
Would you be with a high value man if he said he was going to sleep with other women? Do you think that a guy's going to want to be with you when you're 35 if you've had 10 or more bodies? Right? Like, it's just like, and it's like the same shit. And then I think the thing that's triggering the most is when I keep hearing people talk about like high value men, and it's like, you motherfuckers like crypto millionaires and like YouTubers, no offense, but like why not bring on like dentists and doctors and lawyers and shit? Like
nobody would ever risk their reputation going on these shows.
No, I know, but I'm saying that like
professional could you imagine going on these shows.
Yeah, I know, but could you imagine like an actual person that's like built a business or is successful in life coming on and being like, oh yes, like this is my wife. On Saturdays and Sundays I'm banging the secretaries and she's chill with that. Like show me some people that aren't like, I got rich selling shitcoin. Haha, $40 million I made supposedly. Yeah. I don't know. F me. God, these spaces are so aggravating. But
so what's the next chapter then? If you're going to move beyond this red pill,
I'm waiting for the next political season to pick up. Politics in the U.S. is actually horrible right now.
Why? Because Trump's not in being based.
Because remember how like 2 years ago it was just me fighting over trans issues? Now it's like the whole world is fighting over trans issues. There was a big YouGov poll, I think, and it was like, what's the most important aspect of a leader to you? And Republicans, the number one thing, like 83% said, I want them to be against wokeness. I'm like, bro, no, there's got to be something else we can talk about, please. Holy shit.
I think most people, that's what they care about.
Yeah, I know, but it's like...
Well, I don't think that's what they care about. I think they do care about the financial situation. It really does matter to them. But the discourse around it is like very unengaging and almost like out of reach for the average person. It feels like that it's much easier for them to talk about some blue-haired feminist because they see these people on the streets or in their videos or on their TikToks rather than like the GDP and like the fact that we're outsourcing manufacturing jobs and all these things. It all sounds very amorphous or at least far away from the average person. So that's why they take an interest in culture.
I agree. It's a mistake of pundits online. It's a mistake of politicians to assume that poor people only care about economic issues. That's not true. A guy that feels strongly enough about abortion will vote away literally every single right he has if he's voting for a guy that's like, pro-life. Like they'll do that. Poor people will absolutely vote single issue on social issues. So, but it just sucks because it's like we can't talk about immigration. There's no real talks about foreign policy, healthcare, the economy. Like it's all just like Elon Musk crying about wokeness, Dave Chappelle crying about wokeness. Every comedian, every pundit, everybody, it's just like all like wokeness, and it's like fucking kill me, holy shit. But I'm hoping that like when the next election season rolls around for re-election, hopefully it'll be okay.
Hell no. They're going to be talking about transgender bathrooms. They're going to be talking about... There's got to be
something else.
Indoctrinating the kids.
It's got to be. There's got to be more issues.
I have so many people I know. Actually, vaccines probably will come back. But I will say, I know so many people who've told me they want to leave North America because they see what they're doing to kids in schools with all this like LGBTQ agenda. That has been happening in a lot of chats that I've seen. Yeah, I don't think we're going backwards. I don't think we have a chance. I don't think real politics will ever come back on the table.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
There's a little lever you can pull on your seat if you want.
To do what? Bring it forward?
Or there we go. Well, because I think you're like 1 foot taller than me, but now you look like you're 7 feet taller than me. Okay.
Yeah. I just have a long torso.
Yeah. Jesus.
Managing the orbiters. Yeah, I was going to ask you. So, you were struggling to know what to do with Irrelevant and Darius.
Oh, I don't know. Like what? Now I'm not. I've been like I'm mindful of myself. I just haven't like generally what'll happen is the way that my life goes is I usually, time goes on and you kind of pick up these like little baggages, these mental baggages where it's like there's a solution somewhere in here, but you haven't figured it out. You got a problem here, you haven't figured it out. And I've like accumulated a lot of these little things and I just haven't spent like a day or two like, what am I going to do about this? How do I want to go forward? Because usually I do these on long drives. Like if I've got like a 6-hour drive somewhere, I just like hop in the car, throw some music on, and then usually I start trying to like chew through these problems, but I just haven't done that recently. So yeah, just not sure about anything.
What do you think you think your audience would be upset if you ban these people? You think they would start driving a narrative, or the other communities were? A narrative that you're trying to silence.
No, my audience would be happier for it because I know what I need to do to like make this stream good and everything too. But like you're trying to balance out like friendships and stream shit and everything too, so it's difficult. Right.
And what did Darius and Relevant say when you mentioned this?
Darius mentioned we talked to them. They're not even the biggest problems right now. The lab stuff, we'll see how like the whole lawyer shit goes for how that ends up turning out. But I think the orbiter stuff is like somehow it's filling out. I'm just worried because it's like it's always getting a little bit crazier, and at one point I think it's going to be too much. I thought that it was going to be too much with Lav and MrGirl. Well, in some ways it was, because like the sexual coercive shit is like a little bit over the line, I would say. And Max's 150,000 word report is probably a little over the line. Is that even relevant anymore? I don't think anybody cares, right? Didn't that just fade into the distance? No, it's not. But they're like, this is like a reality. It's hard to talk about some of these things because I don't like to give like a guidebook for people to like ruin somebody. But this is I don't think we were live when I talked about this. But there's two things. If you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes the truth. And if it comes from endearing people, you will eventually believe it. And the problem is if there are certain key figures around and they repeat lies enough, eventually this will seep into the cultural zeitgeist and people will believe it. And I think people don't realize that happens, but that absolutely happens. So if there are enough key figures around, so like right now, Chud has an editor, and there's his editor and girlfriend are two people. Lav is one of these people. Sycophants of MrGirl are some of these people. There are some people in other political communities that are just like anti-fans of me for whatever, which is whatever, but they're invested in this. And if enough of these people kind of like keep this stuff bubbling under the surface long enough, what'll happen is anytime I run into a big fight, that all kind of like comes up, and then people are like, that's their opportunity. So like, let's say I get into a huge fight with like Kelly Jean or something, right? Because she's like an orbiter that's controversial for good reasons. That's all going to come immediately up. It's like, oh, I knew that this was going to happen. Oh, Max is separate, like made a big post when we tiffed over the Steven Crowder thing or something, and they're like, oh, here it is, finally, blah blah blah. They're gonna, like. It's annoying because now every time I like have fights, I've got to like keep in mind like all this other weird shit that's bubbling under the surface. So anytime you talk about emotional manipulation and abuse, or you defend someone, or you could be appearing to defend someone who does that, it's like, see, Max's article was true. Did I hit something? Yeah, you just turned my computer off. The whole computer? This one, yeah. I've got two computers, but. So the stream is dead? No, this is live. This is my streaming computer. How did I turn it off? Is there a button here? Yeah, right here. Oh, I thought that was a USB thing. My bad. No, you're good. Hey, listen. So I didn't fuck up your stream, right? No, this is my streaming computer. So okay. I'll come back on. My bad. Yeah. Max actually, the Max Lav dynamic is very interesting because they both need each other to make what they did work. Like, because Lav on her own would never think the crazy thoughts that she is pretending to think about me. She needed Max to like aim her in that direction. But Max on his own lacks the charisma or social skills or social intelligence to truly have anybody take him seriously or believe anything. So like Max was like the perfect tooler or armorer for Lav to like have the crazy accusations, and then Lav is like the perfect person to carry those forward into the world. And together they work like very well. Together they work very well, but either one on their own is not an issue. Are you doing good?
Good, thank you. How are you doing?
I like your outfit.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
It's green.
Well, it's nice. Whatever the top is. Yeah. Be mailful. What I was gonna say.
Didn't she already do stuff like this with other people before Max? I didn't know about any of that. There, once everything started blowing up, that guy made that, was it Sick? S-I-C or something? Made a documentary about her and started to catalog some of it, but yeah.
I don't know. To me, I think when it comes to those kinds of rumors, I think those are things that just spread whether you like it or not. I don't think there's a way you can really stop them. I just think whenever anyone tries to come at me with an accusation or something like that, I just pull up the receipts. I'd be like, so this clip, Lav says she loves lying. This clip, Lav's admit that she made up certain parts. This clip, MrGirl admitted that he likes to rape. This clip, I'd be like, don't talk to me about none of this. And I also think post Johnny Depp, especially, I feel like this is become a mainstream view that a lot of people do just make stuff up and they are willing to lie in order to ruin people's reputation. And so I don't know if those lies permeate nearly as strongly. Maybe initially, but I think if they ever come to the forefront, you just beat them back down with clips and then you just keep it pushing from there.
Yeah, that's true. I should just carry forward like I don't give a fuck.
No.
And then if someone wants to challenge it, I'll be like, okay, yeah, show me the receipts. That's true.
Just show me the receipts, and then you pull up your own. Because at the end of the day, Lav's credibility shot. All them videos of her saying she loves to lie for no reason, and she needs to make men obsessed with her. When she playing them back to back, everyone's like, oh, this bitch is crazy, and nobody can take her seriously.
Sure.
That's my perspective, but I could be just seeing it from my side. But everyone I've ever showed clips of Lav to, like, oh, she's crazy, obviously, and I think most of those people would not take her seriously.
Yeah, the only issue is that Lav does have the potential to build like a thing on her own if she like is driven enough to do it.
Yeah.
And so if she gets to a point where she's taken seriously again, then I'm like, and then she starts opening up on this again.
If she ever builds up a platform, I'll just remind everybody. This girl likes making up false accusations.
Careful. Well, now they're gonna clip that and say that.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I'd be like, oh, y'all like this girl? Don't forget, motherfucker. I don't care what nobody says. You could clip it, put it wherever you want. It don't matter, because it's not what I'm saying is not a wrong. It's the truth, and she did do that, and I don't think she's ever really been held accountable for it. So
no,
I don't mind bringing
she's got
it up
that
every
white
time.
woman energy.
Yeah, anytime she gets self-righteous with me, I'm like, this is you making up accusations and admitting to it. Okay, no. And I also think once you do that, that's in that same token that if you had done something bad, it would be used against you in an argument. The fact that she actually has done something that reprehensible and it's on camera and she's admitted to doing so will always be used against her, and it should. Sure. I think it does shoot your credibility a lot. So I think you have to be. I would argue that anytime she talks, she's probably even more frustrated, because anytime she tries to say anything, people start bringing that shit up.
Maybe.
I think it's gonna be very hard for her to grow a platform. Also, I don't see her being. You think she gonna make it? You think she gonna make it?
I don't know if she has the discipline to, but.
She's not gonna make it.
You guys all underestimate her so much. It drives me crazy. It's the thing that drives me the craziest. If she was disciplined enough, she could. She's very funny. She's very smart. She looks good enough to do it, and she does. And like, people will make fun of me for this, but like, look at her on that fucking podcast. Like, yeah, she can run around circles on like any of these fucking people in these shows.
What, did she gain a following from that podcast? Did I miss something?
The problem is she's so self-destructive in terms of picking fights with fucking everybody that has held her back.
Okay, then. So that she's not gonna make it.
Yeah, as long as she stays on that.
Yes, and then, as long as Zerka stops doing coke. But here we are.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
True.
all these people got their faults. We can say whatever we want about. They could make it, but they just not. And it's not because they don't have the talent for it. They just got other character faults that just make them not good investments.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, she's not gonna make it, bro. I wouldn't stress it.
I don't think she'll reasonably make it. She'll just always kind of be this like cancerous wart that's just like existing in these communities to like always. Yeah, it's probably not a big deal. You're right. I probably shouldn't worry about it as much. That's true.
I don't think she's gonna make it. I wouldn't have to worry about that.
True.
Who's an actual threat to you
right now?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody. I think I'm generally pretty good.
So then what's all this orbital stress that you got going on?
It's just managing the relationships and the reputations and the working and everything.
I think that's just one of the side effects of having so many collaborators. On one side, it's free content because sometimes you just be playing games and let these retards talk for you. On the other side, right? Because you don't pay them any money or anything like that, there's no contracts involved. You know what I mean? Shit gets chaotic. It's like having a workplace with no HR or no rules about, like, yeah, you definitely gonna get some chaos when you
that's the chaos is fine.
Every crazy fucking person on your platform. Yeah.
I need to starting today. I'm gonna start kicking people that aren't driving well. That's what I'm gonna do, guys. We're gonna burn. Bridges are going to be burned, guys. Okay.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you value people being entertaining, and people you find entertaining are crazy.
No. You're misunderstanding me. I don't mind the craziness. It's the people that are.
The crazy people are the ones who bring you the most issues.
No. Well, it's different kinds of issues. Like, there are people that bring me issues that aren't crazy. They're just fuck my shit up. That's a whole other thing.
Okay.
How are you doing? How's your life doing? Your channel's been doing really good for a while recently, yeah?
What's been doing?
Your channel's been doing pretty good for a while. You guys are you past 2 million subs now?
No. Just I think we're 50K off.
Oh, just 50K off, so like 1.95 million subs. Okay, my bad.
Honestly, I really don't think about it that much. People are like, man, what are you gonna do when you hit 2 million? I'm like, well, whatever. I'll just keep doing the same thing we've been doing for the last year and a half. But the channel's steady. Everything's really cool on that end. We're supposed to go on tour later on this year, and so we're trying to set that up. That's gonna be fun. We're doing a world tour, doing shows, so that'd be cool. But work stuff is very, very smooth and like consistent. So.
Have you thought about doing more shows or anything, like another type of podcast thing or anything like that? Or
no, I'm not somebody who has like a maximum output, like a desire for maximum output. I'm not somebody who constantly I'm not ambitious in that sense.
That's cool.
So for me, I'm chilling with what I'm doing. It's manageable, and I also have other hobbies that take up a lot of my time. So for me, whether it be dance stuff or stand up or different things like that, those things are really important. So I wouldn't be able to do those efficiently if I was doing this. It's the same reason I don't stream. Like I could never spend multiple hours a day or like every couple days doing this. I just don't think I'd have a good balanced life. Yeah. What about you? That podcast, are you going to get launched? Is it going?
Yeah, soon. I have, as far as I got an apartment here, I'm going to start ordering equipment soon for all that shit, and then I'm going to start cranking out episodes finally. That should be good. That's like my segue into everything that I want to do like more seriously, because I think once I start recording and filming like a regular show, I can start branching off into like the media stuff that I want to do. Like that's my I finally have like a place here for it. I just need to order the camera equipment, and then I think in about 2 weeks I think we'll record our first episode. So
okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you for some advice.
Go for it.
Yeah. So if you have a friend who is struggling tremendously, be it financially or mentally, and you've seen this person struggle for a very long time, very close friend, and there's not much you've been able to help. You've tried, but nothing really seems to work. And it's also very worrying for you because you're worried about that person. What do you do in those circumstances, if you've ever been there?
Oh, that's such a horrible person to ask.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I just cut them off. I cannot be around people that... this is actually why I don't, like when you watch me with like Sneeko or anybody else, it's one of the reasons why I don't give like a ton of advice to people. Like I'll kind of like poke and prod if they really want it. But if somebody's making the same mistakes over and over and over and over again, like unless it's like my son or maybe like Belina, like if you want to fuck off and ruin your life, like that's fine, but I'm not going to be like party to it for very long. I can't stand watching somebody make the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. I can't do it. There's not like if I felt that way, I would be killing myself like trying to help Zerka. It's like, bro, you've got everything.
You don't actually care about Zerka. I'm talking about someone you actually care about. So that's
limited to like, that's like 4 people in my life in terms of like, yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, yeah, I guess let's do it that way. Because like if Dan became like an alcoholic.
Yeah, would you just like,
I probably wouldn't be like, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
You actually care about Dan.
I guess it would depend on the problem. And I'd probably, depending on the problem, I'd probably try to take steps to actively help that person. So like with one friend in the past, they had a lot of issues relating to mental health, and I know that like a really motivating, powerful factor with mental health is having other people to help you with your reinforcement mechanisms. So I did a few therapy sessions with them and their therapist, so that I could be with them there and then kind of like learn the strategies, and then I could help them apply those strategies when the therapist wasn't there as like a way to help them. Like that would be something I would do for a friend. Yeah.
Okay.
So I imagine for Dan, if there was like an alcoholic thing, I truly don't know how you help alcoholics or whatever. I'm not sure.
Well, it's tough, especially if they don't want to help themselves.
Yeah,
which I think is like pivotal in any of these situations. If the other person's not willing to be party to this process, then anything you
if they're not willing to help themselves, then all you can do is like be there when they crash, basically.
Yeah.
Like if they're adults, you can't force anything, right?
Yeah. A lot of people live with that. A lot of people live with family members that are going through that, or really close people, or even partners. And the toughest part, I imagine, has got to be seeing like their inability to help themselves, or constantly engage in actions that are just more self-destructive than the last.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Don't waste effort trying.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what's going on. And it depends on your relationship with the person. Yeah, for somebody really close, I wouldn't abandon Melina if she started like smoking cigarettes or something. But
if you and I weren't close, what would be something that you would come at me very hard for in terms of rhetoric, or if there's anything that you feel like you'd strongly disagree on?
Strongly disagree on. For everything I've seen, I might hit you on sometimes the way that you talk about like alternative relationships, like the open shit or whatever, might come off as like when you roasted Sneeko on some shit.
Oh, me calling him a cuck?
Maybe, yeah. But I mean, like I understand like your Sure.
I'm down the hill. Yeah. Any man who lays in bed while another man f***s his girl in the same bed, that you got cooked.
But what if you're swinging?
He wasn't swinging.
Okay.
She was getting swung.
Well, swing,
and he watched with his hand.
Swing was stationary.
He's a cuck.
Sure.
Yeah. I have no problem saying that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you don't feel comfortable with that. I even heard Brittany Simon say, oh, he did it once, he doesn't like it anymore. Sorry. If you're like, oh, I just want to try it. I suck. I'm not gay. I'm like,
would you say that person's gay if somebody sucks dicks once and they didn't like it?
You're either bisexual or you gay.
Well, what if they tried and they didn't like it?
Nah. There's just certain things, in my opinion, that if you decide to try, I'm like, nah, bro, that's gay.
Okay. That's something we
that
disagree
or you're
on.
Bisexual.
That's a 12-part video series for me
we
on
can do
you
that.
right there.
Listen, there's just some things that if people are like, oh, I just want to give it a shot. I'm like, gay. That's me, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you like, oh, I just want to try banging a dude in the back. So I'm like, okay, word. No, but I'm straight. I'm like, sure you are.
Okay.
Hey, you can sell that. But you either got to claim the bi part or the gay part. I just can't. And if you sit in bed and you watch your girl get clapped while you got your in your hand, you butt naked, you a cook, as far as I'm concerned. You can say whatever you want afterwards about how reformed you are, but I just don't see it. And I don't even think that's a weird take. I think most people would agree with that.
Okay.
You feel differently?
I think it'd be 50-50.
You think it's 50-50?
On like, if a guy tried sucking a dick and he really hated it and he never did it again, is that guy gay? I feel like that'd be 50-50. I think some people are like, oh yeah, hell yeah, that guy gay is and other people are like, well, if he didn't like it at all, I guess maybe, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it'd be 50-50, but who knows? I'm not sure.
Okay. Run a poll then. I'm very confident. Run 2 polls. Run the poll about what DGG thinks, and run the poll about what GGG thinks most people would think.
Okay.
You should have said like whether or not they when they did it, the person came. Okay, now run the second
Does
poll.
that change things?
Absolutely. If you're like, yo, if you sucking on it, right? Okay, pause. If you doing it, and then look, oh, I don't like it, but I'm gonna at least finish the job. Like, nah, you gotta be gay. If you would have just like, and then walked away, maybe I would have given that to you. But if you went through a whole jizya, nah, okay. Now run a second poll asking what do you think most people would say? Yeah, most people would say they're gay. Absolutely. I don't even think it's close to 50-50.
I think it'd be 50-50.
Yeah, I think you give people far more credit for their progressiveness than they actually deserve.
I think it would depend on who we're surveying.
That's what I'm just saying. If I'm taking the average out of the whole population.
Well, because I'm thinking of like these videos people go on like college campuses and shit and survey. I think it'd be like 50-50.
I think if you want to college campuses, sure.
But if you're talking like old people and shit,
I'm
then
talking
you're probably
about everybody. I'm talking about everybody from all the different communities. If you accumulated them in America, they would think that shit gay.
Then maybe like, well, how many people do you think?
And I think it's the same for the cuck thing.
Here's a question.
Which is why
how many people
even in the most progressive communities, not just because they hate Sneeko, but I think also really truly there's a revulsion they have. Once they hear what he's did, they're like, he's a cuck. And they won't get away from it.
Don't you think most of these people, don't all those people like that cuck stuff though?
Who?
The progressives that make fun of him for it?
Like who?
I don't know. I thought you just said that's why they made.
Progressive community is like, hey guys, you should try letting some other dude bang your girl. That is not a progressive idea. And I've heard him say that too, and it always makes me laugh. It's like, oh, I ate the woke mind virus, and that's why I watched my girl get clapped while I had my hand in the same bed. That's not the woke mind virus, bro. You're just a weirdo. There's not a single.
I thought all these communities are open and poly and shit now. Isn't that like what they all do?
They say do what you want. They don't go around endorsing the idea of letting some dude clap your girl while you watch. No, cucking. I have never heard that from any liberal ever. Maybe okay. I'm different communities. What liberal group or anybody has ever encouraged that?
I don't know. I feel like every progressive community I know is like all like in polyamory, polygamous, open, whatever.
Yeah. Hey man, listen, at the end of the day, people can do whatever they want. I mean, the only reason why I think this one's extra funny is just because of who said it. But at the end of the day, if you ask me my honest opinion, yeah, I do think that shit's kind of...
Okay, hold on. Gayest guy in the world, ass every Saturday night. Mm-hmm. Okay? Super gay. He a girl one time. Is he now straight or bisexual in your eyes?
You can say he's bisexual.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he's straight though. No.
Gotcha. But he's bi now.
It's a good question though. I've never thought about that.
Okay.
I don't think enough about the experience of gay men.
True.
Yeah. I mean, before you, I didn't even believe in bisexuality.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. That's something that you probably changed my mind on.
Okay. You never met any bi girls? Or do you think they were just doing it to impress their boyfriends?
No. Bisexuality in women is like, bisexuality in men specifically, I just never really bought into it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not going to rehash that our conversation. What's another thing that you would strongly feel like, I don't know about this one, Chief?
I feel like you couch most of your stuff fairly carefully.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Go on. I think that's a criticism in and of itself.
No, I think that's probably a good thing. Like, I think generally you're pretty safe to say, like, no, maybe not in every circumstance, or like, no, where I come from, this is blah, blah. Like, I think you're generally pretty safe. Oh, maybe we might fight over some Jew shit, but I don't actually know what you're...
You know, the Jew stuff is so funny to me.
Yeah, tell me.
Because, like, outside of, like, this sphere, in real life, we just never talk about it. We don't even think about
that's
it.
true.
Like, this is only an online thing where, like, Abba's, like, anti-Semitic. I'm like, okay, let's say hypothetically I am. Okay. I don't spend time around Jewish people. We don't talk about Jewish people. We don't involve ourselves in anything Jewish. Like, does that stuff really, really matter? I don't know.
Good point.
But yeah.
Kanye talked about it a lot.
In real life, I don't know how much involvement I really have with that. And I think that's just most people. You ask people about Jews, they're like, I don't really know. Like,
yeah.
I don't think they think about them. I think that's more for people who are really politically involved or people who are close to the community. But I don't think people really care like that.
Damn, hold on. My camera is super tilted, I just noticed.
Please, another trans discussion. I'd rather kill myself. Every time, like, someone sends me a new article, they're like, but can you react to this? And it's like some trans woman who breaks a record. I'm like, I don't want to say the same shit a million times, bro. I think this shit's stupid. And at some point, if I just repeat I don't know. I also think it's unfair a little bit because it feels as though every time trans issues are brought up, all the discussion is about probably their least favorable point, which is sports.
Yeah.
So it just looks like every time I'm reacting to this ridiculous shit, I hate trans people. It's not even that. It's just like this stuff is so crazy to me. But if I constantly cover it, then it just looks terrible. So I just don't want to cover it. It's just brought up to create hate. I don't think that's entirely true. I think if that's all you talk about, then maybe. But I think it is fair to just say that the retarded takes that a lot of leftists have on trans people and their sports thing is probably an indication of a certain level of disingenuousness that's very disgusting. Like when you have like a bunch of these like lefty feminist men sitting there and be like, no. Men and women physically are not even that different. I'm like, bro, kill yourself.
Abba is almost out of frame. Abba, scoot over to the left a little.
Sure.
So, new year now, 2023. Wow, just turned 2023. Okay, 5 months ago. What do you want to do this year? What are you looking forward to?
I feel like these are questions you ask on a first date with a girl that you don't really like talking to.
Well, no. So I
feel like there's a part of you sometimes that's like very engaged and wants to ask, and then sometimes I feel like you just have to ask a question, and so you do this like different voice where you're like, all right, this is how normal people talk.
Yeah, well, I'm doing the voice, but like I engage with you a lot on a like quasi-personal level. Okay. Like you come in and chat on my Discord and stuff.
Sure.
But aside from your one show, I have like no idea what the you do.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to? You mentioned doing like the stand-up stuff. Do you have like a hope to like start like opening shows and stuff and like doing more stand-up? Is that like a thing that you want to like get more involved in, or?
So I've already done quite a few shows. I've done big shows. I did a show in Montreal for 20,000 people. Mm-hmm. Andrew Schultz was there. We had a bunch of other comics across Canada who came through, so it was a lot of fun. That's a show that we ran ourselves. So we've done a lot of stand-up. It's just not stuff that I've really shared online or really posted a lot about. But for the people who've attended, it's been a great time. So stand-up is already like a part of my life.
Okay. Do you want to start going to like New York and doing shows and shit down there, or?
Yeah, so when we do the tour, we're going to do a world tour. So I'm going to definitely be going to the States a lot. But
world tour.
Yeah, well,
where else in the world are you going?
I'm going to Europe, so I'm going to go to do a few parts of Europe and then probably Australia as well. Based off the analytics, that's where like a lot of the fans are. So probably the reason why is, I don't know, there's like the online stuff that I do, but everything that's offline, I just keep it there generally. Mm-hmm. So the dance stuff is not on YouTube or anything like that. I don't really post about it.
Gotcha. When you say dance stuff, are you like...
Why are we banning my man? Is he a retard?
He said I gave you a crusty old headset. That headset is 2 weeks old. I literally just bought that. That is a brand new headphone. I don't know why he's saying this. Retarded.
Destiny. Yeah, you be just banning people like crazy.
A retard. Why would he even say that? It's a brand new headset. Yeah, of course I'm banning that motherfucker. Okay. Get that ass
Nah, be honest. Are there a few times where you ban people like, all right, that's probably unnecessary, but I can't be a bitch and undo that shit?
No, I'll undo it. If I like, sometimes I'll ban people and then I'll like get a snack and I'll be like, oh, I think I was just grumpy and I'll like start unbanning people. I might have been that guy in like 30 minutes.
Sometimes I had someone DM me. They're like, "Yo, Abba, can you ask Destiny to unban me?"
Why are people?
That shit does make me laugh. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got.
Honey 110 is now a tier 2 sub. Cool.
What's some stuff that you were going to cover
Today?
Yeah, pull it up.
Oh, it's like boring shit.
Boring shit. There's nothing good happening in politics or.
Okay, well, there's a guy named Pisco that I fight with a lot. So.
That's the lawyer who's going to get you.
I don't know what he's going to get. He argues about shit, but I have very strong feelings about self-defense. So I want to like formally write down kind of like all my qualifiers for self-defense so that I can have a conversation with him so I can fully 100%.
So we got some protests in New York City after a homeless man named Jordan Neely.
I don't know why that just started playing. Holy shit.
Yeah, that made me jump.
Jesus.
I was like a wild Tim Pool appears.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna formally write down all of my arguments on this and then go fight with him to prove to him once and for all that I can finally shoot a guy and murder him for stealing a blade of grass.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you guys are gonna argue to the.
Yeah, there's degree. That. I watched about half of this. Tim Pool and Tim Pool and the Surfs TV. Did you hear any of these arguments?
I did not hear a lot of these arguments.
This is probably one of the just
most brain rot.
Okay, so there's a thing that I kind of cucked out on, but I'm not going to cuck out on it anymore. Okay, it's very popular online to be like, debate is cringe and debate is bad and blah, blah, blah. I actually think if you do politics, I think debate is pretty important.
Sure.
And I think the reason why it's important is because it helps you flesh out your own arguments a bit more. Like, imagine if you went into a professional debate hall and you wanted to take the argument. You're like, I don't think you should ever kill somebody ever. There's no reason to ever do it. And then imagine somebody comes up to you and they're like, what if somebody was going to kill you? Do you think you'd have a right to kill them then? And then you were like, damn, that's a really good argument. I never thought about that before.
W.
People will be like, what do you mean you've never thought about that before? That would be like the first fucking thing.
Is that what this guy did?
Like 7 times, yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
but this is in the vein of the whole trans thing where like you say the basic thing about sports and like people are like, what? No, men and women are out there. I feel like this is a bit of that same retardation that sometimes I see lefties have. It's like, if somebody's running at you with a gun, like during the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, that was also pretty evident to me.
Yeah.
When some people were even defending the people that were attacking Kyle, like, oh, he didn't have to hit him with a gun or whatever. I was like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah. This is like 1.5 minutes of this. Like the way that he walks into some of these arguments is just insane.
Should go to prison if they did something like that, in my opinion.
You believe that the moment after the child is outside of the birth canal, that they are now endowed with human rights.
Yes.
However, when they are inside of the mother, literally anything you do
Hold on. People need to see the video for some reason.
to them is acceptable because they're inside of the mother.
Oh, no, I don't think anything's acceptable, but I think the mother should still have the choice.
They can hear it. Yeah, they're just stupid. Okay, here you go.
Of course.
You believe that the moment after the child is outside of the birth canal, that they are now endowed with human rights.
Yes.
However, when they are inside of the mother, literally anything you do to them is acceptable because they're inside of the mother.
Oh, no, I don't think anything's acceptable, but I think the mother should still have the choice, ultimate authority over what happens to her body.
But there's a child inside of her body.
Hold on.
Not
What
her.
about
Yes.
meth?
Like, should she be allowed to do meth?
Yeah.
I think if someone is doing meth while they're pregnant, that it is completely acceptable for something like, I don't know what the name of the service is in the United States.
Child services?
I guess
Child
DCFS
services?
would be.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's her body, though.
Yeah, it's her body.
If she wants to do meth, what's the big deal?
The big deal is that she's intentionally trying to kill a child.
Hold on there a minute.
Yeah, and I see where we're going.
I don't understand what you're saying.
There are like 7 different points in this debate, and he's advocating. The other guy, Lance, is saying you should be able to have a 9-month abortion.
Yeah.
9-month abortion.
When you can't have meth and kill the baby with meth.
There are so many parts in this debate where he just like, it is so funny. But